Opening Big East game. This is always a great place to play. Hinkle has a lot of history. Before we begin to talk about the game, I'd like to say, we're going to miss Barry in the Big East, right? We're going to miss Barry in the Big East. We're going to wish him well. That's our guy back there. He's been around. He has a ugly-ass sweater on today, right? Right? But he's one of our guys. We're going to miss him and wish him well. He'll always have a place to come visit in the district. He's one of the best people I've met in the Big East, and he's a high-class human being. Today the aggressive team won. The more aggressive team won. I like the team that Thad and his team put together. Right? They got a lot of pieces that fit. Right? They have some older dudes that, in a short period of time, collectively have a great chemistry, and the better team won today. We were not the team I expected to show up. We have to be a lot better guarding the ball one-on-one. I thought we had to be a lot better physically on the ball, and that's what they did well. They drove the ball. They did what they do, right? I thought we had them scouted well. The better team definitely won today. I don't want our players to get discouraged. We still have another game before Santa drops off a couple of gifts. We got to go up to Milwaukee and play another great Big East team on the road. And again, if you're going to be competitive in the Big East, you have to win your home games. You have to win your home games. And there's nothing like league play. I'm glad we had the first game out the gate. It's unfortunate that we weren't successful. Yet at the same time, we'll continue to improve. We'll continue to get better. Our players need to be picked up right now. They're a little beat up. But you know what? We'll get them going. We'll be prepared for our next game against Marquette and continue to build our program to get it back to the level where we need to be competitive in order to compete in the Big East.
Coach, Supreme Court got off to a good start with 8 points in the first half. But what was Butler able to do to limit him to just 8 points?
I don't know if it was what Butler did is what Supreme wanted to do. We tried to get him the ball. He's got to want the ball. Honestly, I don't know if they did anything different than what they were doing. All right? I mean, he had a couple of opportunities in front of the rim. He missed, especially one, a big basket late in front of the rim. Obviously, there was probably a little bit more point of emphasis on there. But I don't think anything was done different than his will and want for the ball and our players recognizing trying to get him the ball. I got to do a better job trying to get him the ball in those situations.
Coach, you started to get some threes to drop in the second half. Was that more of just a matter of them falling, something you guys changed up?
No, I think we're an elite three-point shooting team, right? I really do. Again, the way Thad's coaching his defensive team, they do a lot of switching, so we made the right adjustment in order to get those guys shots, and they were wide open. I thought we missed a lot of guys that were open on our penetrating pitch, so we'll watch that in film. But I think we're a damn good three-point shooting team, especially with our 10 toes down, and they'll eventually fall. Normally, and this goes to tell you where we are defensively. Normally, if you hold a team to 4 of 18 in the Big East, that's normally a loss. So that goes to tell you how far we have to go defensively to guard the ball and take away tough twos, right? It looked like a circus because it was a lot of layups at the rim, right? And Ringling Brothers was the maestro.
Coach, you mentioned that Butler has a lot of older players. Mm-hmm. What does that kind of experience, even though a lot of them are at different places at this time last year, but just having experienced players, what does that do for a team, especially in conference play?
Well, first of all, with COVID basketball, a lot of our teams for this year and next year will be older. So you got to give Thad a lot of credit and his staff that they assembled an older unit and built chemistry over the summer. They built chemistry within their meetings and a style of play that fits those level of players, right? I mean, again, it's very, very difficult to do what he's doing. I think Butler's now won 7 in a row. So you got to make sure you give credit to those coaches that do that, because you, the media, will be the first one to crush coaches when they don't, when either of you probably have ever called a timeout or recruited someone. Seriously. So make sure you give that guy a credit. Beat me up today, but make sure you love him up because he's done a hell of a job within the last year.
And I call plenty of timeouts in my son's Little League basketball team, so show some respect. But what do you think about what Thad is doing is difficult? What do you mean it's hard to do what he's doing? You mean get the chemistry overnight?
Just in COVID basketball, to take a lot of different players from different organizations. Some of us are on 2, 3, 4 coaches, so there's a lot of different philosophies. None of them are coming out of CYO. They are all coming from high major programs, mid-major programs, and that's why I think it's really important to recognize when these coaches around the country are trying to now assemble teams. It's really hard to build programs in intercollegiate athletics, given the portal and given this NIL. I'm not trying to be disrespectful toward anybody's coach, and that was more tongue-in-cheek, right? I would never do that. I think the game is great. The game has provided me an opportunity to sit here and talk to y'all. I would never be disrespectful in that. So if I offended you, man, my bad. But I would love for you to sit in my seat.
Thanks, Tunes.
Coach, you've seen Posh Alexander for a few years.
Too many
now.
years.
Is there anything different to his game now that he's a Butler, or is it the same old Posh?
I give Posh a lot of credit as well because I think his tenacity has rubbed off on his team. I think his toughness, I think his grit, I think he's brought a personality that I didn't feel here last year. Not just he, but Telefor, and again, the coaches did a great job assembling that. So again, I give the coaches a lot of credit.
You got Jaden Epps back tonight. How did he kind of fill his way back into
It was he struggled today, you know, just with his conditioning, his rhythm. You know, he flew in, I think, yesterday. He was home he hadn't done anything since last Monday. So hopefully this is a good training ground for him to get ready for Friday.
So now you're coming off back-to-back road games. You get Marquette next. What have you learned from the games in South Bend and Indianapolis to prepare for that one?
That the Big East is a monster. That the Big East is every game is, you got to buckle up. You got to stay connected. This is our third road game in it'll be 7 days. So we'll definitely be battle tested. Got to find a way to try to get us a win against one of the best teams in America.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bosh, Coach Cooley said that he feels like your tenacity has kind of rubbed off on the rest of your teammates. Obviously, he's very familiar with you from his time at Providence, but what is it about your attitude that you bring, and do you feel like you've been able to kind of make an impact on your teammates so far?
Basically just trying to prove everybody wrong. You know, everybody talked down on us, everybody talked bad on us, saying that we're a horrible team, we're not good, we're not great. Just using that as motivation and just going out there and want to win, playing defense and just bringing my team along. So that's what really happened tonight.
And it seems like that tenacity that you have comes from the defensive end. I think you had 5 steals today. Just how much, again, does your defense ignite your teammates?
Me personally, I just take that personal. Like playing defense one-on-one is just personal and hard and just being tough. And by me just, locking up and playing great defense just brought my team along, and they was doing great at it, and we was getting stops. We got 3 or 2 shot clock violations, and we just showing the word that we coming.
Posh, you had the 5 steals tonight. One kind of channel a little Jose Alvarado poke out from behind. What did you see either on film or just something regular that brought you to those steals tonight?
Oh, that's just me. Like, I've been playing defense my whole life, and that's what I love to do, and I'm gonna continue to do it.
And then you had 4 turnovers in 17 minutes against Saginaw. What's been the difference? 7 assists, 1 turnover tonight.
I don't gotta say no. This old coach, he got on me, and that changed me tonight, coming out and just want to play and just, just being comfortable and not playing down to no competition and just being focused and just going on one goal. So that was it. It was all coach.
And as one of the only guys on the team who's been through the Big East schedule and has been through the Big East schedule more than anyone on your roster, what'd you say to the group getting ready for the opener?
Games is gonna get better and better. Games is gonna get harder and harder. So us just preparing day by day and getting ready every day, going at each other in practice, keep doing good in practice, and just leading into games is gonna change. And that's all I gotta say. It's just gonna get better and better and tougher, and we just gotta keep showing everybody that we here to play. John, Coach.
See you, man.
Questions for Thad?
Coach Cooley made a comment about, some coaches are trying to build teams and others are trying to build programs. With the way that you've had so many players come in and the chemistry that you guys have built so quickly, to show that now in a Big East game, just what does that say about your team?
Well, it says a lot about each individual guy and how they've really connected. And I've said this from the get-go. One of the biggest priorities we looked at in recruiting was character and kind of who these guys were as people, the families they came from, and I think we got a locker room full of guys that have something to prove. There's a why to who they are, and you got your leadership, like you guys alluded to with Posh. I mean, he's been through this. He's the only one that's kind of been through it, and we got to continue to build because, as he said, each game gets tougher.
Coach, you talked throughout the offseason a little bit about wanting this to be a really good three-point shooting team. 4 for 18 from 3 tonight, yet it's a win. How much has your team really developed in their ability to attack the basket over the last month and a half?
Well, that was I thought one of the big differences because we had some really good looks tonight and didn't go down for us. I think we want to be that team that can do both, and obviously, you look at a great offensive performance. You're balanced from the three, you're balanced at the rim, you're balanced from the free throw line, and unfortunately we didn't shoot the ball particularly well from behind the arc, but that's kind of who we are. We know we got to do that a lot like Providence. I mean, they came in making 9-point-something threes a game, and I think we held them to 7. So we got to continue to work the shooting and that sort of thing, but I got faith in those guys. I mean, Pierre's not going to go 1 for 7 again.
Ed mentioned that you have a roster now that can switch, and he said that's why they shot so poorly at 3-point range, is that you've got guys that can switch out. How important was that for you this offseason to increase the athletic ability, the switchability of your defense?
Yeah, that's something I've been kind of blessed with in different teams that I've coached of having some long athletic wings, and even though Posh is a little bit small, I mean, he gets put in the post. I don't even worry about it. He'll fight and that sort of thing. But that's something we've spent a lot of time on, and I thought, with the exception of a segment there in the second half, kind of to start the second half, we weren't as sharp as we needed to be, and we got to get better at starting second halves. We haven't been that good this year, but no, I thought that's what I like to do if we can be as disruptive as we can.
Coach, any updates on DJ Davis?
Not yet. No, he rolled his ankle, and I don't know the severity of it, but they're looking at it. I think they had him back there, his eyes coming down.
And same question about Connor Turnbull as well. Just when did that injury pop up, and how long?
Yeah, this weekend. I mean, he got hung on the rim and landed on his arm, and we don't know. There was no fracture, but like the tendons are a little bit messed up, so they didn't give me a timetable. It's one of these that kind of has to heal itself. There's no magic brace or anything like that to help it along. So hopefully we get him back sooner than later.
Coach, so you do lose DJ Davis at a point in that second half. Not just what you get out of Landon Moore and Finley Bizjack in those minutes, but how does your team change without him on the floor, and what'd you see out of that group?
Well, I thought those guys were solid and did a nice job. I mean, Landon had a big 3. Finn had a huge drive for us, but most importantly, going back to defensively, I thought those guys did a really nice job. And DJ's he's a different dude, man. I mean, he can stretch a defense, and hopefully swelling goes down and we see him out there Saturday at noon.
Coach, your ball screen defense and communication tonight was as strong as I've seen in a while. Was that a point of emphasis during the week preparing for this game to get your guards and bigs to know when to stay and when to switch?
That's been a point of emphasis since the Michigan State game, and we've been drilling that like crazy. And I agree. I thought tonight was the best that we did in terms of that number one, challenging from from behind. I thought our bigs did a better job being up the floor and occupying, and we pulled better defensively and still got back out. So we're going to see that all year long, and I cannot explain to you how much film we've watched and how hard we've worked on getting our ball screen D, and it's not where it needs to be, but we're going to continue to get it better, and tonight was a great step for us.
Coach, Supreme Cook was able to get 8 points in the first half. It seemed like he was kind of establishing himself early on, but you guys held him 2 points in the second half. What were you able to do to kind of neutralize him a bit?
Blocked out. We blocked out. That was, I think, his may have been off offensive rebounds to start it, because I know that was, we were getting crushed on putbacks, and that's that old deal, man. If one of our bigs pulls and verticals, we've got to get down and get a body. He's a man now. I mean, it's easier said than done, but I thought that was probably the biggest key for us, was we started rebounding the ball a little bit better. We got out in transition, which was good.
13-point run to end the first half. Was there a moment where you felt like the momentum kind of swung your way? Was it a conversation during the timeout, or was it just kind of capitalizing on what was falling?
It's funny, because I said to Posh, I said, would you please get this thing to double digits for me at halftime? He says, Coach, don't worry about it, I got you. And he did. But no, that was the thing, because we were sort of trading, and I thought we had a spurt in us, and we went back with our starters the last 4 minutes, and those guys did a heck of a job.
Coach, you said after the Saginaw game you guys were on defense, but you didn't play defense.
Right.
Tonight, what'd you like? What'd you guys really work on the last few days, and what'd you think of your team on that end?
Well, it's funny, because, Providence is a team, I don't know how many sets they run. Maybe they got 50 sets in, and we really tried to hone in on what specifically they were going to do and what they're going to try to do at the end of the shot clock. And I thought we had some possessions tonight were as good as we could possibly play defensively. But we got to keep building that in terms of, we didn't want to give threes. We gave some uncontested threes in the second half, and it's always teaching, it's always coaching.
Very good.
Good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.